Yeah, good morning and welcome back to the class. I am not doing with the recall today because I want those two problems in the exercise to be discussed and completed. Then I have three small video
ಏ
to watch.
ಏನು
Please switch off your audio if it is on. Please do not interfere. I don't know whose audio is not muted. Please check it. All right, so we will complete the two problems quickly and get back. I have them on the board already. So we will take them one by one quickly and complete it before we move on to hollow cylinders and hollow cylinders, their surface area and volume, which I have to introduce today. Okay. So now I have the remaining two problems. That is problem 7 and 8 in exercise 13.2. Let me quickly go through the problem. You can understand. Just give me 1 minute. Somebody is calling me. So let me go through the problem. The figure is drawn already to save time. That's all. Okay. A solid consisting of a right circular cone of height 120 centimeters and radius 60 centimeters standing on a hemisphere of radius 60 centimeter. So there is a cone standing on a hemisphere. The height and the radius of the cone is given as 120 and 60 centimeters, and the radius of the hemisphere on which the cone
Ma'am?
is the same as the cone. Yes.
Ma'am, Ritusha is waiting.
Okay, she is waiting. So this is the first solid that we have. This is a solid obtained by having a cone mounted on a hemisphere whose height and radii are given to you. Then in the second part of the problem it is said, okay, so standing on a hemisphere is placed upright in a right circular cylinder. So this solid is taken as it is and placed upright inside a cylinder. So there is a cylinder into which you are inserting this solid, which is a combination of a cone surmounted on a hemisphere. This much you should be able to understand. This solid, which is a combination of a cone and a hemisphere, is put inside the second solid, which is cylindrical. So this is put upright inside a cylinder. Now the cylinder is actually filled with water. And now what will happen? If the cylinder is full of water and you try to put this solid inside it, what is that observation that you have? What will happen?
Ma'am, overflowing of water.
Ma'am,
Out is
overflowing of
equal to
water,
that.
ma'am,
Will start
equal to that volume.
how much water will overflow?
Ma'am, the volume of that
Volume of the
solid
solid
is
is equal
equal
to the
to
volume of
volume of
solid
that solid.
immersed in the
Yes, it will
cylinder.
be equal to the volume of this solid which you are inserting into the cylinder. Now the question is, find the volume of water left in the cylinder if the radius and the height of the cylinder are given as 60 and 180 centimeters. The total height of the cylinder is 180, the radius is 60. Now after inserting this solid into the cylinder, there is some water which will be left out in the cylinder. How will I find the volume of water which is left out in the cylinder?
Ma'am, volume of cylinder minus volume of solid.
Yeah, from the cylinder which is full of water, if you remove the volume of this solid, which is a combination of a cone sitting over a hemisphere, you will get what is the volume of water remaining in the cylinder. So I have to first see two solids separately. First you will find volume of solid. The solid I am talking is this. This is the solid I am talking about, which is a combination of a hemisphere and a cone. So volume of solid will be equal to volume of hemisphere plus the volume of cone. Can I calculate the volume of the cone and the volume of the hemisphere from this? I have the radius and the height of the cone, and also I have, just give me 1 minute, 2, 3 people are getting added. Volume of the hemisphere, what's the formula for volume of hemisphere? Half
2
of
by
the
3
sphere.
pi
2
r
by
cube.
3 pi r
2
cube.
by 3 pi r cube. Plus the volume of cone will be 1 by 3 pi r square h. The radius of the hemispherical part and the conical part is the same. So that's why I have maintained it as r itself. Now that 1 by 3 pi is also common. So you can see it as 1 by 3 pi r square, which comes out to be common. You have a 2r here plus the 1 by 3 has come out, pi has come out, r has come out, only h. If you want, you can write it down like this. Otherwise, you can calculate separately hemisphere, separately cone, and then add them together to get the volume of the solid. So when you calculate the volume of the solid, it should come out to be volume of hemisphere plus volume of cone. Maybe you can have the pi as it is, because again you have another solid whose volume you have to calculate. So I will write this in terms of pi only and leave it. You can simplify and find out. It will be 60 square into 80. I'm not simplifying anything, into pi. So I'll leave this as so many centimeter cube. Okay, so this is the volume of the solid. Next, I have to find the volume of cylinder. That is equal to the volume of water, is equal to volume of cylinder, because initially the water was filled inside the cylinder. So if I want to find the original amount of water which was there in the cylinder, I have to find the volume of the cylinder itself. What's the formula to find the volume of the cylinder?
Pi r square h.
It will be pi r square h. Again, you are seeing the radius of the cylinder is exactly the same as the radius of the hemisphere and the cone itself. So I will keep the r square as it is, which is the same r here. I am not changing it with any suffix. So I find out pi r square h, which comes out to be 180 times, because the height is 180 times pi, the r square is 60 square itself. Alright. So this is so many centimeter cube is the volume of water. So this was the original amount of water. This is the volume of the solid which is put into the water. Now volume of water left over. Volume of water. I just avoid this diagram. This is for the next problem. I wanted to save time, so I have drawn it. Volume of water left in the cylinder. How do I find this? From the entire water which is there in the cylinder, I have to subtract the volume of the solid. So this will be volume of cylinder where the water is filled minus volume of solid. So you need to subtract these two. That's exactly why I kept some of the factors as it is, because there are some common factors between all of them which you don't have to multiply 2 times. So can you see the 60 square pi is common in both these volumes. So the 60 square pi can be maintained common. This is 60 square pi into 180. This is 60 square pi into 80. So that 60 square pi can be removed as common. Then you have 180 minus 80, which will be 100. So it will be 100 into 60 square into pi. So 60 square, I know 3600 into pi into 100. This will be the volume of water left over in your cylinder. So this you should be able to calculate. You will get that as the pi, the value I think is given as 3.14 in the problem. No, it is not mentioned. Then you can either take it as 3.14 or 22 by 7. Here I am going to take it as 3.14 because I have zeros here, which will remove the decimal from there. It will be 3.14 into 100. Deliberately I am taking it because the value is not given.
Mom?
Yeah, I know it is not visible here. Yeah, anyone is waiting? Okay, somebody is waiting.
Mom, what's the radius of cylinder?
Radius of the cylinder is 60 centimeters. It is given. No, it is the same as that of the conical part and the hemispherical part of the solid. It is given in the problem. You can refer back to that. Still somebody is getting at it. Oh my God. Okay, so this you can simplify and finally you will get the answer as it is 1130400. So many centimeter cube. If you know the conversion between meter cube and centimeter cube, you can also tell that it is 1.130 meter cube. I hope you remember the conversion between the centimeter cube and the meter cube. How many centimeter cube makes 1 meter cube?
1000 centimeter cube.
Is it 1000? From centimeter cube, you have to go to meter cube.
10,000.
Is it 10,000?
10,000.
You have 100 centimeters making 1 meter, correct? 100 centimeter together makes 1 meter, right or wrong?
Yes, ma'am. Followed
Ma'am.
by 6 zeros.
3 times. Centimeter into centimeter into centimeter will become centimeter cube. Will become 1 meter cube. So how many zeros? 1 followed by?
6 zeros.
60.
So how many centimeter cubes make 1 meter cube?
1 lakh.
10 lakh. Don't simply close your eyes and give me 1000, 10,000, etc. Centimeter in the meter ke conversion gottadre 3 times, that is 100 into 100 into 100 will give you 1 meter cube. So it will be 10 lakhs. So you have to divide it with 10 lakhs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You understand why the decimal has come there? So it is 1.13 meter cube. So that's how you have to complete that problem. I hope you have understood. Now we will quickly take on to the next problem, the last one there, for which the diagram again is ready there. Let me use this part of the board. Now there is a vessel which is in this shape. This represents some kind of solid that you have seen maybe in the lab. Can you recognize?
Ma'am, conical
Ma'am, round
flask.
bottom flask.
Yes? Please be a
Round
little
bottom
louder.
flask.
Yeah, it is a
Round
round
bottom.
bottom flask that you must have seen in the chemistry lab. So it has a neck which is in the shape of a cylinder and the bottom which is in the shape of a sphere. All right. So this is the solid we are discussing. A spherical glass vessel has a cylindrical neck. The neck of the vessel is cylindrical in shape, which has a length of 8 centimeters. So the length of the cylindrical neck is 8 centimeters and the diameter of the cylindrical part is 2 centimeters. This is given to me. Then the diameter of the hemispherical part. So this is the second part, which is in the form of a hemisphere. The diameter of this hemisphere is given as 8.5 centimeters. By measuring the amount of water it holds, a child finds its volume as 345 centimeter cube. So if I store anything inside this vessel, the total volume will be equal to volume of cylinder plus volume of sphere. There are 2 parts in this complete solid. The solid is made of a cylinder plus a sphere. So when I want to find the total volume of the solid, I have to take the cylindrical part plus the spherical part. So we have to calculate and find out whether it is 345. If it comes out to be 345, we can tell the child is right in calculating the volume. If not, you have to tell it is not. So you need to calculate the volume of the vessel. So volume of the vessel will be equal to volume of cylindrical part plus the volume of spherical part. Now you have 2 radii which you have to attend to. One is the radius of the cylindrical part. The other one is the radius of the spherical part. So I will call it RC and RS. RC will be half of 2, which will be 1 centimeter. Here it is 8.5 divided by 2. Alright. So when you substitute in the formula, you should be careful because there are 2 different radii for the 2 different parts of the solid. Alright. Now you go and substitute the formula. Volume of cylindrical part is pi RC square H plus volume of spherical part 4 by 3 pi RS square. I have suffixed it as RC and RS because they are 2 different radii. Alright, now you need to just substitute the values of your R, H and pi to find out the final value. This I think you should be able to get it. Here they have clearly given that pi is 3.14. So maybe that pi you can maintain it as a constant term. You can call it RC square H plus 4 by 3 RS square. This is one way you can see it. Otherwise, calculate the cylindrical part separately, calculate the spherical part separately, and then add them. So I can just give you the final answer. You can calculate yourself and find out. The cylindrical part will come out to be 25.12. So many centimeter cube, the cylindrical part, plus the spherical part will come out to be 321.39. I'm just saving time by not doing all this calculation here. So when I add these two volumes, I finally get the volume as 346.51. So many centimeter cube. But the child had reported the volume as 345. So was she right or wrong? Was she right or wrong? She had reported 345. And now we have got it as 346.51. So should I say the child has calculated the volume in the correct manner or there was a mistake?
There was a mistake.
So you will go back and tell the volume calculated or reported by the child is wrong. The actual volume of the vessel is 346.51 centimeter cube. So that completes our volume of combination of solids. Next, we have to move to conversion of solids. Before we move in there, I have two more formulas to be introduced into your formula page. I told you in the beginning itself, we have only dealt with the solids which we have already learned in class 9. That is, we started with cube, cuboid, cylinder, cone, sphere and the hemisphere. Using that, we could calculate the surface area and the volume of combination of solids. So there's one more important solid which we are going to see today, which is the hollow cylinder. How is a hollow cylinder different from a solid cylinder is what we will see now. So I just have to share my screen.
What does it represent? Well, on a two-dimension, you could say that it is a circle or a ring, but it is actually three-dimensional.
Is the video audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
here I've given maximum volume. So is it audible? Can I play it? Continue playing it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Is a solid. So it represents what? Kind of a hollow cylinder. You can see it has a curved surface, it has a height, but this is hollow from the middle. This is a hollow cylinder.
So this is an example of a hollow cylinder. So there are solids or structures available of this shape. So when we come across such shapes, we should have a common formula which will allow me to calculate the surface area. The surface area again will be of two varieties. It will be the total surface area as well as the curved surface area. And this structure will have a specific volume also. So we have to talk about the volume of this structure also. So we may come across structures of this kind. So let us see how we can derive the formula for such a structure, which we call as a hollow cylinder. I'll just come back. There is one more video also which I wanted to share. Just give me 1 minute. Why that is not getting selected.
You can see that this is a bangle.
Is it audible?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yeah. Just see how this hollow cylinder gets created.
And this bangle is of a circular shape. Now this bangle is actually hollow from inside so that we can bear it. But let us stack up some kinds of bangles like this. Now you can see that the stacked up bangles are actually forming a cylinder. These are having a curved surface and two circular bases. But what is the difference between a cylinder and this cylinder? The difference is that this cylinder is actually hollow from inside. That is why this kind of cylinder will be called a hollow cylinder, because it is having the same curved surface and the circular bases, but the difference is that it is hollow from inside. Not only these bangles, but have you ever seen the functioning of this hand pump? It is actually a cylinder here. You can see this part is a cylinder, but then it is hollow from inside so that water can flow in and flow out. Then this cylinder is kept hollow for this reason. That is why this cylinder used over here is a hollow cylinder. Not only these, but the pipes that we use for transporting materials from place to place. What are these cylinders? These are actually what? Hollow from inside so that materials can pass in and pass out. You can see that these pipes are cylinders with a curved surface and circular bases, but they are hollow from inside. Now, one thing if you notice that from this point to the outer part, this is called the radius of this circular base. Now this cylinder also has another radius, that is from this point to this point, from where this cylinder is starting to become hollow. This can be called as internal radius. So this capital R denotes the external radius, and this internal radius is denoted by small r. Now, what is the thickness of this cylinder? Now, hollow cylinder has to have some thickness so that we can distinguish the external radius from the internal radius. So, how can we denote this thickness? Well, this thickness is actually external radius minus internal radius. Now, that is the way how we get the thickness of this cylinder. So, you know that if this is a cylinder, this is a hollow cylinder, then we have two kinds of radius, that is the external radius and the internal radius. And the thickness of this cylinder will be the external radius minus the internal radius, that is capital R minus small r. Now let us see how we can actually make a hollow cylinder from a solid cylinder.
You can draw this figure quickly because you are creating a hollow cylinder. From a solid cylinder, when this smaller cylinder is removed, what is left over is a hollow cylinder. The best example that you can have is the hose or the pipes, because you can see they are hollow from inside. That means they are hollow so that they can be used to store materials inside them. These are pipelines through which you transport either oil or whatever, or water or whatever it is. So they have to remain hollow. So the material used to make the cylinder is existing only in this area. That is what you call the thickness of the hollow cylinder, which she has explained as capital R minus small r. So this figure you should be able to draw depicting a hollow cylinder. Maybe you can pause it later on and draw. I am just proceeding. She is showing you how a hollow cylinder can be made.
Capital R. And now we have started to make it hollow by taking the small radius small. See, we have successfully made a hollow cylinder out of that solid cylinder.
So when the smaller cylinder is removed from the solid cylinder, what is resulting or what is remaining will be a hollow cylinder.
So a hollow cylinder is actually a solid cylinder which is hollow from inside. It has the same height and it contains two kinds of radius, that is the external radius and internal radius, and the thickness of this hollow cylinder can be denoted by external radius minus internal radius. This is the thickness of a hollow cylinder.
So this you can just draw in your notebook and keep it ready. Now I'll just move on to find out what is the surface area of this hollow cylinder and what is its volume. Quickly I'll move on to those two videos also. In case I'm not able to complete a video, maybe I will try to do it, share it with you. So I'm coming back to this older version of the video.
Now suppose the color of this gets faded and the authorities want to paint it. They need to know how much surface they have to paint. So what will they find out? The surface area of this structure. For that, you should know how to find out the surface area of a hollow cylinder. Let's see. Well, a hollow cylinder has the dimensions height, that is represented by h, and capital R is the radius of outer circle, and the small r represents the radius of the inner circle. You can say small r is the inner radius and capital R is the outer radius. Why outer and inner? You can say that the hollow cylinder is hollow from the middle. So now this circle has some radius and the outer circle also has some radius. So this is actually represented by capital R and the small one is represented by small. Now the external curved surface area will be what? Now you know that a curved surface area of a cylinder is calculated by 2 pi RH. So here we keep the same formula and putting capital R. Why capital R? Because we have to find out the external curved surface area, that is the outer curved surface area. So that is 2 pi RH, where R is the capital R, that is outer radius. Now what about the inner surface? Now this hollow cylinder has some inner surface also. The internal or the inner curved surface area will be what? Again 2 pi RH, but here we have to replace this R with small r. Why small r? Because the inner curved surface area will be calculated with the small r as radius, because the inner circle has the radius small r. So keeping the formula same, that is 2 pi RH, we just replace the radius with small r in case of internal or inner curved surface area. The external is what? 2 pi RH, but R is capital R, showing outer radius, and internal curved surface area is again 2 pi RH, but R is the small r which represents inner radius. Now what about the area of this part? This shaded part.
Now she has told you that there is an inner curved surface and an outer curved surface. Apart from these two areas, that is this light blue color is the inner curved surface and the purple color is the outer curved surface. Apart from these two surfaces, there is one surface on the top and one surface at the bottom. So what is that shape which is remaining on the top and the bottom? Are you able to guess what
Ma'am,
is that
rings.
shape that you will get at the top and bottom?
Ma'am, rings. Bigger circle
You will
minus
get
smaller circle.
circular rings. We have studied circular rings in the 8th and the 7th and the 8th standard, if you remember. This is one circle removed from another circle. That is why you are getting a circular ring. It is in the shape of your tenicoid, which you play. Correct. You will have one circular ring at the bottom and another circular ring at the top. So if I add these two circular rings to the inner curved surface and the outer curved surface, I will get the TSA of the hollow cylinder, which is what she is trying to show. Now I stop share here because I want to see how many more minutes I have. Okay, I have only 3 minutes more. I can't complete this video, but I will show you the final formulae that you will generate. I'll just pull the video. I'll share this video separately in the group. Let us see if I can pull the video there and play. Yeah.
Internal curved surface area or the inner curved surface area is 2 pi RH, where R is the inner radius, and the area of two circular ends, this and this, top and bottom, can be calculated by 2 pi, that is 2 into pi R square minus R square. That is outer radius square minus inner radius square. In this way, we have calculated what? The total surface area of this hollow cylinder. Here you can see that there is a pipe. This is a hollow cylinder.
Okay, that is a problem which we will take up later on. So now we could generate the formula for the CSA of a hollow cylinder as well as the TSA of a hollow cylinder. I think quickly I will just write it down on the board, which you can add into your formula page now. I think I have only 2 minutes. I'll be running out of time now. So quickly I'll just write down this. You can copy it down, right? Draw the figure and try to understand the dimensions there. I'm not bringing back the figure. I'm just writing CSA of hollow cylinder. Because there are two curved surface areas, it will be 2 pi capital R H plus 2 pi small r h. Or you can consolidate it as 2 pi h times capital R plus small r. And the TSA of hollow cylinder, that is the CSA plus 2 circular rings. So because there are 2 circular rings, which will be 2 pi h times r plus r, the CSA, plus 2 times pi capital R square minus small r square. So this will give you the TSA of a hollow cylinder. This you can note down. Alright. TSA is nothing but the CSA plus the top ring and the bottom ring, which is pi r square minus small r square. 2 times that because you have a ring at the top and 1 ring at the bottom. So these are 2 more formulas that you are adding on to your formula page today. Because we have introduced the hollow cylinder, this will be very useful when you're doing conversion of solids. Alright, that's why I'm introducing it here. So CSA of the hollow cylinder is 2 pi capital R H plus 2 pi small r h, which is combined like this in the shorter form. And when you want the TSA, it is the CSA, which we have already calculated, plus 2 circular rings. 1 circular ring is pi capital R square minus small r square. When it is 2 in number, I have multiplied with 2. This also you can further simplify. You can 2 pi can be taken as common, then you will have h r plus r times r square minus r square. So I think we will stop here today.